Okay, so let's get right into it. There's some interesting buzz going around about Dolores Catania.
Yeah. Reports saying she might be joining the new Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Exactly. The talk is maybe renting a summer place up there.
Right. And potentially not even starting as a full-time cast member straight away.
Oh, okay. So like a friend of role first.
That seems to be the idea, yeah. See how it fits, see if she, clicks with the group and the show's dynamic.
And maybe become full-time if it works out on camera.
Precisely. Kind of a way to test the waters.
Now, this potential move for Dolores, and there are also these other reports about Melissa Gorga maybe looking into wife swap.
Right.
Some sources are apparently seeing these as, well, pretty significant signs.
They really are. The perspective seems to be that this is like another indicator.
An indicator of what?
That Real Housewives of New Jersey might be completely dead in the water. That's the phrase used.
Wow, completely dead in the water. That's strong. What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, the main thing seems to be the time that's passed. It's apparently been a whole year since the last season. Still no word, no announcement about filming a new season.
Okay, so that long silence is seen as a major red flag then.
Definitely. That's what the report suggests.
So if RHONJ is potentially in that state, what are these sources saying about the remaining cast? Like, who do they think has, staying power?
The view seems to be that, really, Teresa Giudice is the main one. That she has the kind of fan base that would follow her pretty much anywhere.
What about others? I mean, Margaret Josephs, wasn't there talk she wants back?
There was. But the feeling from these sources is, while she might want to return, she probably wouldn't be positioned as, like, the lead of the show.
Why's that?
Well, partly the whole dynamic with Teresa, obviously. But also, the production side reportedly always saw Teresa and Melissa as the sort of two main pillars.
And everyone else kind of had to pick a side in their drama.
Pretty much, yeah. Which brings us back to Dolores, actually. The reports make a point of saying she mostly stayed neutral through all that conflict. Didn't really get dragged into taking sides.
Ah, interesting. So that might make her a good candidate to move to a different franchise. Less baggage, maybe.
Could be part of the thinking, yeah. Now, there is another angle here.
Okay.
Andy Cohen. He actually commented on this whole idea of a known housewife joining RHORI.
What did he say? Did he confirm the Dolores thing?
Not exactly. He said the report was a little overstated.
Overstated, so maybe cooling it down a bit.
Yeah, but he didn't completely shut the door on the idea either. He said he's open to it in principle.
But it depends on specifics.
Right. He emphasized it really depends on who's in Rhode Island. So very non-committal on Dolores herself.
Gotcha. And did he give any description of what this Rhode Island show might be like?
He did, yeah. He called it Italian with a capital I.
Okay.
And said it has early Jersey vibes. The sources suggesting Dolores could move seem to be linking those very dots.
Like it's a deliberate strategy. Move someone from the early Jersey days to capture that specific feeling.
That seems to be the interpretation.
Yeah.
Leverage those early Jersey vibes he mentioned by bringing in a familiar face from that era.
Someone who wasn't maybe as caught up in the later, more intense drama.
Exactly. And the hope, presumably, is to create a sort of built-in audience.
Get those original RHONJ fans interested in the new show by having her there.
That seems to be the reported logic. Bridge the gap, try and bring some of that audience over.
Okay. And just quickly, while we're talking about franchise health, did Andy mention Real Housewives of New York City at all?
He touched on it briefly, basically said there's no real latest.
So, status quo.
Yeah, they're in between seasons. They're always casting. He sounded maybe a bit more upbeat about it.
How so?
He said it still has juice.
Right. That sounds a bit different from the picture being painted of RHONJ by those other sources.
It definitely highlights a contrast in the current buzz around the different cities.
So, summing up then, we've got these reports suggesting RHONJ is, sadly, maybe more or less done, as one source put it.
With cast potentially looking elsewhere.
But then we have Andy Cohen's comments, a bit more cautious, maybe downplaying specific rumors, but confirming RHORI's vibe has that Jersey connection.
Yeah, and leaving the door open for cast crossovers in general.
The positive note from the sources, though, was the potential to see Dolores in a new iteration.
True. A fresh start somewhere else, potentially.
So here's something to consider. If housewives we know and, follow start moving between cities, showing up on different franchises, how does that change things for you as a viewer?
Does it make it more exciting, like a big universe?
Yeah.
Or does it kind of dilute what made each city feel unique in the first place? We're talking Erika Jayne from Beverly Hills and Jesse Solomon from Summer House. So there's this photo Carl Radke shared from the NBC Universal upfronts. It's resurfaced recently.
Right, I saw that one. Jesse's got his arm around Erika.
Yeah, and they look pretty close in the picture. So naturally, that's fueled all these rumors about, like, a possible hookup in New York City.
Okay. And have either of them, said anything? Erika or Jesse?
Nope, total silence from both sides so far, which, only adds fuel to the fire. And the rumor mill, well, it's working overtime. Page 6 has insiders claiming something did happen between them after a taping of Watch What Happens Live back on May 14th.
Okay. So after the show.
Yeah. And then People Magazine adds another layer. They're reporting the two actually met before that, earlier in May, at the NBC Upfronts rehearsal.
Okay, so they had a prior meeting.
Right. And apparently they were seen getting cozy at a private network party, one of those cocktail things, at the Mandarin Oriental. And the report says they spent a lot of time talking, just the two of them, like alone on a couch. A source who was apparently there called it the talk of the party, said there was a visible spark. Remember, the very first hint of this hookup actually came from the Do You podcast.
Wasn't that from a fan?
Yeah, someone claiming they were with Jesse Solomon at that Watch What Happens Live taping and said he and Erika got together afterward.
So multiple sources, fan accounts, insider reports. It's starting to build a bit.
Kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
And then Bravo and Cocktails on Instagram, they also reported the hookup.
Okay, another one chiming in.
And they made a comparison to Luanda Lesseps and Joe Bradley.
Ooh. Okay, that's a specific reference for Bravo fans. Sort of a whirlwind, maybe unexpected pairing.
Exactly. Makes you think about what kind of vibe people are getting from this potential situation.
Interesting. Okay, so lots to watch there.
Definitely. Next update we have about Brittany Cartwright from the Valley. Looks like she might be moving on, romantically speaking, after the split from Jax Taylor.
Well, given the divorce proceedings, that seems like a logical next step, perhaps.
Right. She put a picture on her Instagram story with a mystery man. And of course, that just kicked off a whole new round of romance rumors. This was while she was in New York City.
Okay.
And she was also apparently spotted at a gym and just walking around the city with the same guy who nobody's identified yet.
The Instagram photo itself, what did it show?
It was kind of coy, actually. Just their legs and shoes.
Oh, one of those shots.
Yeah. And like a ball and paddles were in the picture too.
Yeah.
So casual vibes, but definitely enough to get people wondering.
That feels pretty intentional, like acknowledging something without giving it all away.
My thoughts exactly. And then Dumois comes into play. They posted an actual photo, like a paparazzi-style shot of Brittany and the same guy walking together.
Okay, so visual confirmation of them together.
Yep. And you can tell it's the same guy from his clothes compared to, like, the gym sighting. And in that picture, he's trying to cover his face with a red hat.
Ah, suggests they're trying to keep things low-key for now.
Right. Makes you lean in a bit more.
Yeah.
Plus, there was an anonymous tip to Dumois, too.
What'd that one say?
Just someone saying they saw Brittany leaving a gym with that same man.
Okay, so multiple sightings are starting to corroborate the story. You always have to be a little careful with anonymous tips, but...
Oh, absolutely. Grain of salt, always. But then you remember, Brittany herself kind of hinted at this.
How so?
On Watch What Happens Live, end of last month, she admitted she had a crush on someone.
Oh, that's right. She did say that.
Didn't say who, obviously, but now with these sightings,
Yeah.
it makes you connect the dots.
It certainly adds weight to it coming from her directly.
Yeah. And on that same show, she was very, very clear about Jax. Said there's no chance of them getting back together.
Wow, no chance.
Her words were, he damaged our relationship far too much. Pretty final.
That sounds like someone who's firmly closed that door and is ready to move on.
Seems like it. We know she had that short fling with Julian Sensley right after they first split early this year.
Right, that was a brief.
Yeah. But she hasn't confirmed anyone else since then, so this mystery guy in New York definitely knew.
Okay, so Brittany's navigating single life, maybe dipping her toes back into dating. Good for her.
Definitely. Next update we have about Carl Radke in his venture, Soft Bar. Sounds like there's finally some visible progress.
Ah, yes, the Soft Bar saga. People have been tracking this one closely, especially after some online chatter about things looking stalled.
Right. He posted an update on his Instagram story, kind of showing the location looking different. Seems like a response to those Reddit threads, maybe.
Possibly addressing the concerns.
And he also made sure to clarify again the name, Soft Bar. It's not about that comment he made to Lindsay about being softer.
Yeah, that's probably necessary clarification given, well, everything. Avoids misinterpretation.
Totally. So, May 22nd, he shared a video. He's outside the bar location. The big garage door is gone. There's a ladder. Signs of work.
Okay, actual construction happening. That's a positive sign.
He said the garage door is being replaced with glass, and they're still aiming for a summer opening.
Did he get more specific?
Kinda. At the Summer House finale watch party, he apparently teased August 1st as a potential opening date.
And another thing, he shared a video touring the Athletic Brewery up in Milford, Connecticut.
Oh, Athletic Brewing. They make non-alcoholic beers, right?
Exactly. He was wearing a hairnet, getting the full tour.
Makes sense for him focusing on non-alcoholic options given his sobriety.
Absolutely. He called Athletic Brewery one of the best non-alcoholic beers in the business and seemed pretty grateful for the tour. Suggests he's locking down suppliers.
Right, building those partnerships. It sounds like it's moving forward.
It does. And remember, Soft Bar did a soft launch last summer, and he raised quite a bit of money through crowdfunding. How much was it again?
Almost $130,000 from nearly 200 investors. So people definitely bought into the concept.
That's significant backing.
Plus, he said on Summer House in a confessional that he put in over $100,000 of his own money.
Wow, okay. Serious personal investment.
Yeah, he said something like he'd rather risk failure doing something he believes in. So he's clearly passionate about it.
You have to respect that level of commitment.
Definitely. And just a heads up for Summer House fans, the two-part reunion starts next Wednesday, May 28th on Bravo.
Ah, reunion time. Expect fireworks. Probably more updates then, too.
Always. Next update we have about Kandi Burruss, her husband Todd Tucker, and her mom, Mama Joyce. Sounds like more friction there.
Oh, boy.
Kandi was on Amazon Live recently and talked about a, quote, renewed rift between Todd and Mama Joyce.
Renewed rifts. So things had gotten better for a while.
Apparently. But the old issues seem to be back. We all remember Mama Joyce's early concerns about Todd, worrying it was all a scheme. Kandi said things are currently not great between them. She mentioned they had a nice moment at their kid's graduation on Friday, but then tensions flared up again after Kandi went on a trip.
So, fragile peace, easily disrupted. Sounds stressful.
Yeah, Kandi also mentioned something about, like, misunderstandings around the issues she deals with. Maybe referencing how it all plays out publicly.
Could be. Family stuff is complicated enough without cameras, let alone the online commentary.
Speaking of online chatter, Kandi might have been subtly nodding towards Nene Leakes' YouTube show.
Oh, what's the connection?
Well, Nene has had guests on, like Tamar Braxton, for instance, who have said some not-so-positive things about Kandi.
Ah, okay. So outside voices potentially stirring the pot or weighing in.
Seems like it might be part of the background noise she's dealing with. And on top of all that, Kandi shared some really tough personal news during that same Amazon Live.
Oh, no. What's happened?
Her Aunt Bertha has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
Oh, that's incredibly difficult. Alzheimer's is such a devastating diagnosis for any family.
Yeah, Kandi got pretty emotional talking about it, just saying they're trying to navigate this really challenging time and asking for, thoughts and support for her family.
Absolutely.
Okay, final update for this round. This one involves Lisa Vanderpump and Ariana Madix.
LVP and Ariana. Interesting combo. What's the story?
There's a report from Maureen Callahan, she's a Daily Mail reporter, about something that happened, or rather didn't happen, at the 2023 White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Okay, 2023. That was right in the thick of Scandival, wasn't it?
Exactly. This was peak year of Scandival. Ariana had just blown the lid off the Tom Sandoval affair. And now, of course, she's hosting Love Island USA.
Right. Context is key there. So what did Callahan report?
She claims that Lisa and Ariana did not speak to each other the whole night. Like, at all.
Wow. Especially considering their Vanderpump Rules history, you'd think there'd be some interaction.
You would think. Callahan says she was sitting at the same table with them, a small table apparently, and she maybe saw them exchange one word, tops. And Callahan didn't stop there. She went on to call Ariana a total a-hole.
Whoa, okay. Strong words. Why?
Said Ariana acted like she was too good for everyone there, just stayed on her phone the whole time, scrolling Instagram, tweeting.
That's quite an accusation based on one night's observation.
Callahan said her first thought was maybe Ariana was just intimidated. Big event, lots of important people.
Okay, a possible explanation.
But then she apparently decided, no, Ariana was just being impolite. Said she wasn't sparkly and fun like Lisa Vanderpump was at the table. And Callahan's takeaway from this whole encounter, she said, based on Ariana's behavior that night, that the culture has misread the Scandival completely.
Wow. So she's suggesting Ariana maybe isn't the victim everyone perceived her to be based on that interaction? That's a bold take.
A very bold take. It certainly offers a completely different perspective on Ariana and the whole Scandival narrative, questioning how public image matches up with, well, alleged private behavior at a dinner party.
Definitely adds another layer of complexity to how we view these figures.
So yeah, there you have it. So if you want to keep up with all this, make sure you subscribe to Real Tea TV.
Yeah, and hit that bell icon. You don't want to miss our next breakdown.
Thank you for watching this video. See you tomorrow.